Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. We are here at the wonderful Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium for the second round and the first round I'm streaming of a Friday series. Yes, we have a load of 60-minute races coming up at various tracks. Ooh, this is yes, Spa. Not a circuit I'm very comfortable with, to be honest, when it comes to LMU. Welcome, welcome. Rouge Radiant, something I've struggled with, especially in a GT3's the Ferrari, most particularly. Yeah, the Ferrari most particularly. I'm going to wait a little moment. The track looks like it'll be very busy. I'm actually going to take a lap, I feel like. Car setup. Yeah, 22 liters. Yeah, just go away a little bit, because, yeah, a lot of traffic going out. It's a very fun race last week at Portimao. I need to adjust brake bias. I'm not very comfortable with the brake bias in this car. I need to turn the ABS down. Again. Okay, just tell me to drive into a Mustang. Why don't you, mechanic? Yes, we're here at Spa. For what could be a bit of a damp race coming up. There's sort of 50% chance of rain. Forecast is giving a drizzle. So it'll be important to get a lap in quickly. The little bit of practice I did do, I didn't feel very confident nor comfortable in the car, nor was I quick. But that was sort of the same way as it was in qualifying for Portimao, and then the race is where it came good for me. So hopefully today is the same. And there is the drizzle already. If I knew the weather was going to be this early, I would have taken even more fuel out. We had similar conditions in practice, as soon as I drove out onto the track as the drizzle started. And took a few laps for the circuit to actually get damp into a condition where it was losing pace. It sort of held pace for a couple of laps, so it's going to be important to get our qualifying laps in before that happens. The Mustang in front bailing, which is a real mad idea given the situation. This lap that we're about to go on to could be our best chance. Best conditions we have all session. So it's going to be very important to get a good lap in here. Very important not to invalidate this lap. Best first upper inch Indy to do that is up here at our Rouge and Radion. That was not neat and tidy. Tires still cooled, still a bit cooled. See, they're actually cutting that curb just about, cutting out the curb enough to trigger track limits, but not enough to actually get the lap time invalidated. It's a very messy Les Combes. Very messy lap in general at the moment. You can see the tires now just about getting up to temperature. Rear end trying to swing round like it did a lot in Portimao. Really had to try and tame the rear end. Let's see, first lap on the board then, 2:24.5, it's not good, to say the least. Much better exit out of, or a bit of a better exit out of T1 this time. Let's see if we can be a bit neater and tidy through a Rouge and Radion, a little bit wider of the apex. But carried a lot more speed over the top. Much better they come. Car behind a lot more confident on the brakes. I don't know why they're flashing, mate. I'm not going to give up my lap when the conditions are as they are. Shouldn't have needed to have defended there, but just had to make sure they didn't ruin my lap. Bus stop wasn't quite as good as last time. Slightly better in T1. Definitely better up through a Rouge and Radion. Gaining over half a second here. Really messed up No Name there. Just by keeping within track limits there. I've been driving a bit too safe in these conditions. I need to just try and get time out of the car. I'd probably be a further half a second up if it wasn't for the mistake through No Name. Kept it flat through Blanchemont. Much better through the bus stop chicane. Now I'm starting to get the car to work for me. Didn't invalidate my lap there, but did lose a little bit of speed. Didn't drive the car into those corners as much as I should have. Look at all the time we've gained by not making that mistake. Oh, the car just understeering. Oh, go away. I've done worse than that in Peon and not even had the track limit thing come up. Track's now damp. That's going to make it difficult to improve. Also, I should have shifted up from 5th to 6th there. This will be our final flying lap, and it's going to be difficult to improve with the track now in damp conditions. Still had a good source, really good source, over a 10th up. finger steering a little bit more. See, now we gain from not making that mistake. If we're wanting to slide out there. You can tell the grip has just started to fall away here. Only half a tenth up. Now I lost a bit of time there, but didn't invalidate the lap, thankfully. Now I lost the time. Not a good qualifying session. Not good. 3 seconds off the pace. Can't even, there's no way. I kind of want like what we can do in AC and ACC, you know, look back over your laps, see the sector times, you know, see what theoretically what we could have had.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
Right, just under 4 minutes until the race begins. It is dry to begin with, starting in 24th out of 30 cars. Aston Martin's not as strong here as they were in Portimao. It was an Aston Martin 1, 2, 3, 4 in qualifying and the race last time. But rain will probably come. Whether it'll be enough to have to switch onto wet tires, we don't know. We don't know. Yeah, I need to change things. So wheels and brakes. Firstly, brake bias. Need to make it that. ABS. Bring down. I'm just running the CDI setup that's in game, by the way, if you're wondering. I don't have anything beyond that. Yeah, so we'll do that. Just so I don't have to make those changes on the track. We obviously have new medium tires. 1 hour race, so we shouldn't need to change tires unless it does get wet enough on the track. So yeah, just waiting for the start. It's nice to actually have a little bit of time between quality and the race start. Usually they're only like 2 minutes at most and you're kind of like, oh, got to, you know, quickly do your setup, check your strategy, and then it's like, oh, right, make sure you don't click drive too late. So, keeping me up, what are there? Nah, I was watching the rally earlier before I go on for practice. The WRC, which is at the Canary Islands, has been quite enjoyable to watch today. Also, no, that's just a gap. That's not qualifying back. Right, we should head on to the grid. A little bit far back, so we might be sort of in the chicane when the race gets underway. The green flag flies, unfortunately. But yeah, we just have to deal with that.
Formation lap has started.
Okay, some car either stalled or didn't get going or something.
Green flag, green flag.
People in front of DTs, we don't though. Heading down to T1 now on the outside. A lot of carnage on the inside. Gotta be careful not to get pushed into the gravel, which we don't want. Car spun on the inside. We're up a couple of positions already, heading towards a Rouge and Radion. This is where incidents can occur. Couple of cars spun, had instance, so we're up 3 places now, side by side with BMW for 15th place using the slipstream. Just not confident enough to use enough speed to carry it the long way around there. Drizzle is in the forecast. BMW in front going very wide. I'll likely get them some track limit points. Tires just about coming up to temperature. Lot of fighting going on up in front, nearly 3 wide through the chicane. One car peels in for their drive-through. McLaren behind ran quite deep into the corner, nearly actually ran into the back of me. Could see another instant here up Rouge and Radeon, with just how close everyone is. Surprised the Mustang behind didn't go for its DT. Anyway, we're up to 15th now with the other car taking their DT. Side by side between the Mustang and the McLaren. BMW's maybe go down the inside for the McLaren here. Or not, we're going to try and get round the outside then if the BMW's... Gotta be so patient when we get the move done on the inside. Obviously some cars in front clipping the gravel, kicking some dust up into the air. BMW is closing in with the slipstream. Okay, good run out for the bus stop. And the McLaren has actually given the BMW issues behind. That's given us plenty of breathing room. That could be a track limit cut. Well, it was track limits, but didn't give us anything for it. Go try and get a little closer to the McLaren in front. Their rear end sliding into pit on there. Big slide from the Mustang in front. They've held on to it, but it's definitely cost them time. Then the McLaren putting pressure onto the Mustang after the Mustang passed it a couple of laps ago. And that's what gave us the opportunity to pass the BMW that's now a couple of positions back. Are so slightly faster than both cars in front. But of course the Mustang did have that slide. And faster than the Ferrari in front of them too as well. getting more of a slipstream pull this lap. Looks like something's happened behind. Cars have dropped back and lost time. One car's stationary on the track map. And there is the drizzle. Not keeping up with the cars in front this lap. Car turned in very well there to the first apex. Not a lot of field spread so far. See in the bottom left on the MFD, the track's still high grip. Need the track to get to slightly wet conditions before the wet tyres are quicker. Also, another thing, need to make sure that when we pit, we're close enough to the end of the race to be able to make it there on energy, which we should be, not from this lap, but from next lap. Break a little bit later into T1. Yeah, just losing touch of the cars in front. I have a little bit more pace than I do. Ferrari's starting to create a three-way train. All the cars in front, not big gaps in front of us. You can see on the mini-map, there's sort of up to P7 it looks like, is in this train that is sort of compacting. And then there's a bit of a gap beyond that. Track is now damp. Still too early to pit for wet tires. You can see everyone has dropped off a bit of pace. One car off into the wall, that's a McLaren. That was the car that was flashing us in qualifying, so karma. And that's us up to 13th. Hit my normal braking point there. Done the same thing for the last few laps and did not make the apex this time. Shows you that, yeah, grip is reducing. More so than it was in qualifying. I think the rain is a bit heavier than it was in qualifying. Which means we are not too far away from a pit stop. Looks like there might be some cars in front pitting. None of the cars directly in front of us. McLaren has had issues at the chicane. Maybe not any. Maybe no cars have pitted. Yeah, we're still in 13th place. So no one pitting just yet, but it is certainly getting wetter. Much tougher to keep the car within track limits there. And side by side between the two McLarens in front. One McLaren's gone in deep. Struggling in these conditions. Track's still only damp. We've got a good run here. Hit this lap. This is going to be a very busy pit lane. Oh, McLaren's nearly spun. Has had a half spin. "18 laps to be safe." New wet tyres. And I think you'll see most people into the pits. Actually, not as many cars as I was expecting. Annoyingly, we are right in between two cars. Oh, look at that, the Aston and BMW side by side. Luckily, we kind of have a bit of some gaps between us and the other cars, so, you know, hopefully it won't be as busy as we're trying to leave our pit box here. McLaren beat me here. But the McLaren didn't do energy. They're going to try and save here. DT for one of the Aston Martins in front. And we jumped a couple of cars that filled up on virtual energy. If I did one less lap of energy, I might be in front of the McLaren. But better safe than sorry. One of the Aston Martins that didn't change onto wet tyres is really struggling in front. There's the Aston going in for its DT. McLaren I think is going to get held up here by the Aston. Carried more momentum. And we'll get the car slowed down. And the Aston in front is a stop-go penalty. BMW in front apparently on the medium tires. Did they forget to change or something? Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. It's that button. McLaren holding off the fry for now and doing us a favour, it must be said. Yeah, and the BMW's into the pits again. That's us up to P5. Ferrari is past the McLaren though. Track is wet. Oh, in front DNF, and we're up into P4. If I somehow finish this race in P4 as well. Oh, I had a little slide from the rear end there. We're a little bit quicker than the car behind last lap, which is good. Main thing for us is just trying to hold on to this 4th position. We're not going to be catching the cars in front. is just sort of understeering. 30 minutes to go. Still quicker than the cars behind. You can see in the rearview mirror and display, the spray's starting to get quite strong. That's a bad line in to put on. Also, best placed Aston Martin at the moment. That means everyone that beat us at Portimao is behind us and outside of the top 8 at least. And everyone in front of us, we beat at Portimao. So that's a good thing. It's certainly good for like a championship wise. That's probably gonna be a track limit. Yeah. Or not. That is generous. Oh, Aston Martin off on the wall on the left. Still faster than the cars behind us. Track, I think, has taken a little turn for the worse over the last couple of laps. I think it's just got a bit slower and slower. That's understeer. Yeah, I mean, looking at the times behind, you would say so. There is one car behind that is going quicker, but they're quite a bit behind. They've got a few cars to overtake before we will be their next target. That's a bit slippery. Yeah, the BMW that's back in P8, I think, is gaining. But they've got 3 cars to pass before they're the car behind us. Down into the 35s for the car in front. Same for us. So yeah, track getting slower. 36 for the car behind. It might be better to take 4th gear through a region radion, such as limited grip. There's now a 3-way fight for P5 behind us. That will hopefully really slow up the cars behind us and give us an even bigger margin. Cars behind have actually been closing in this lap, which isn't good. Maybe I'm not driving the car hard enough. Still a few tenths quicker than the car directly behind us. The Ford is past the McLaren. Yeah, look at that. Nearly half second up on our last lap. Just from being a bit more aggressive. 17 minutes to go. The longer that Ferrari can hold off the Mustang, the better for us. Deep through that second part of the bus stop. Yeah, 6 tenths quicker than last lap. Mustang is through. 7-second gap to it, but they are now chasing us. Mustang driver behind is actually someone I used to race with on ACC when I did team races, team endurance races on it. I'm still technically in that team. I just don't do anything in it at the moment since I'm not interested in ACC team races at the moment. But who knows, maybe for when LMU brings in driver swaps next month, maybe we'll race share a car again on this game. Mustang is definitely closing in. Better through the chicane. 10th quicker than we were last lap. Nearly 3/10 lost though to the car behind. Just over 13 minutes to go. Looks like 6 laps to go. Yeah, so they need to be gaining a second a lap to us. So we don't have to worry about too much, just make sure we don't make any mistakes. Track, I think, is sort of leveled off in its performance drop. That's out wide. I'll probably beat track limits. No? Does the game just not care about track limits today? Not a great exit out of the bus stop. A little bit slower that lap, but not by much. Car behind had a track cut, so unfortunately we don't see what their time was. widen the right-hander there. Certainly cost a bit of time. Maybe the grip has gone down slightly more. I'll probably get a track limit for that. No? Okay. Definitely gained an advantage by running wide there. But if the game doesn't want to punish me for it, then fine by me. A little bit quicker than last lap that time. Car behind, just a 10th quicker. That's fine. That's really bad, apparently. Apparently that was 7/10 slower than what I did last lap. I thought I lost a second so far this lap. I don't know. Right, focus down. Because I cannot afford to lose a second a sector. Oh, understeer. Has the track lost a bit more grip? I'm puzzled. I'm not genuinely puzzled. Didn't lose too much time in the second half of the lap, but yeah, that was a dreadful lap. I feel like I'm getting into the ABS more. Yeah, I lost 2 seconds that lap. That was much better. I think I overslowed through a Rouge. And that obviously costs you a lot of time up the hill here. Then I was sort of distracted by that and didn't then messed up like calm. Yeah, and then just kind of got in my own head. Five minutes remaining. 2 more laps after this. Still lost 3.5 tenths to the car behind last lap, but only 2 laps to go, still nearly a 4-second gap. So it should be alright. Getting good exits. Leader has just gone on to the final lap. Now we're going on to the final lap. We've been catching the car in front over the last few laps. Unfortunately, that gap was always too big to really be thinking about. Oh, nearly a second gain for the car behind. I mean, in hindsight, you should definitely have taken 1 lap of energy / fuel out at the pit stop, given we're going to be 2 laps safe at the line. Time has run out. Leaders finished the race. Still got 2-second gap behind. Just make sure we don't make any mistakes on this final lap. Hit our apexes. Get the power put down without spinning the car. And that is P4 once again. What a race. 38.4 seconds off the lead. But having qualified... The track was 40% wet at the end, only 2% rain. Yeah, and what, 2.046 gap at the end. So P3 is saying they had steering damage. Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, look how many people DNF'd. What, 8 people? One was only 1 lap down. You know, but like, these are 2 cars, the final Aston Martin and the Ford there. Those are 2 cars that were up towards the front. But yeah, really, really, not too many certainly not as many battles as I had last week, but yeah, sort of instead of the carnage, got a good result. Thank you, Lilith. Yeah, I mean that was Understeer City. The Aston is so weird. It feels a bit like the 2012 Ferrari where they had understeer and oversteer. Going into corners, you know, you were either the rear end was wanting to either spin around on the brakes, or the car just kind of chundered steer into the corner. It was very fine line of actually getting the sort of turning correctly and such. Well, so you finally got LMU. Welcome to the party. As your first proper wet race on the pad, LMU. So yeah, maybe a little bit too dull in there. Yeah, it can. I mean, and especially with how sort of sketchy some of the cars can be, and how precise you have to be. Even with the TC and ABS, you still have to really manage your throttle and your braking, which obviously can be a bit more difficult on a controller. So I would say surviving, not binning the car into a wall is, I would say, very solid. If you manage to, I didn't quite see there. But yeah, especially in those conditions, you know, if you kept out of the walls, kept it clean, I'd say that's a good start because it is so easy to just throw the car off into a wall somewhere, especially up through Radion or Rouge. That was a bit sketchy towards the end. But yeah, I can't wish before I close the game. I can't wish I loaded up the replay and to look back at the start. Yep, see you at the next one. Take care, though. Hopefully we'll have some good races. Where is next week? Calendar. Interlagos next week. Ooh, interesting. Interlagos is a good track. Should be good fun. But yes, as always, go run a little bit of Art of Rally before we wrap up stream. We're going to run the daily and weekly event today. So we will. So let's see, where did we finish on Wednesday? Because Christy Wednesday, 15th, top 4%. That's a good result on Wednesday. Very good one, that. 24th on Tuesday, not quite as good, but it was still pretty good, top 5%. Let's see if we can keep that up here. Group B car at Japan for a 6-kilometer gravel stage in the dark at night. Let's see what Group B car we have. Ooh, why is... Part of me wants to say Volvo, but I'm pretty sure it isn't. Go with that cut. I was very worried the game was actually going to reset me there. Blasting off into the darkness now. feels pretty good, pretty balanced. Also, I want to say this car is British, because the livery definitely gives me Union Jack vibes. Bit of understeer there, trying to put down the power. As always, what's helpful with the night stage is the headlights from the car and the lighting. Gives you an indicator of sort of an indication of the elevation, which can be quite helpful. But that felt like a very good run, 217.7, and that's 16th for the time being. Top 5%. That's good going. Happy with that run. I don't think that's quite as good as Wednesday. Let me see. Yeah, it's 15th on Wednesday, so yeah, one place lower for now. Of course, still a few hours to go on that event. Let's see what we have on the weekly event. We were 46th last week, top 5%. That was good going. 33rd previous week, then 83 was definitely not as bad. Then 31st and 48th. So generally in the 30s is sort of what we're aiming for. Maybe breaking sub 30. But we are, I didn't quite see the Car Classic disappear quite quickly, and it was looking fine. Group S at Sardinia, starting off with a 5 or 6 kilometer stage, or just under, I think. Of course, Group S car is very quick, and showing that off by overshooting the first corner. Something about this car doesn't feel as grippy as the Group B car we had. Just feels like it slides around a little bit more. Just turned it a little too early there and clipped the last of the hay bales there. Coming into this little town section that's on tarmac. I'd say this is a good run through the town. Bit of a cut there, but game didn't reset us for it, so we got away with it. There's a fence there on the inside, which is sort of buried in within the crowd. We start off 30th place, top 4%, so that's good going. See if we can improve on that at all. Yeah, Group S, 9.7 kilometers now. Another mixed surface stage. Being somewhat cautious over that jump. That one as well. And that one. Turned in too late for that right-hander. Could have carried a little bit more speed. There's finish. That's a fun stage. 232.4. Fun high-speed stage. Up to 27th now. Made up a few positions that stage. That went pretty well. Got a 10.9 kilometer stage coming up. This time, it's in the rain. No repairs to make, except for cleaning the car. Then we'll get underway. Gotta be careful. It's gonna be slippery here in this stage. See the car sort of wiggling about, struggling for grip. There's finish 3 minutes 57.3. And we're up to 20 seconds now. This is going really well. 1,000th off of 21st. Ooh, it is very close. Into 6 kilometer stage. This is the stage we did for the daily event. Let's see then. I love how some of the spectators trying to move out of the way climb the buildings. That's funny. Car got onto 2 wheels there for a moment, had me a little bit worried. Gotta be careful of the tuk-tuks on the inside there. Up to 20th. That was a very good run through the weekly event. Top 3%. I think that's some of the best I've driven on this game ever. That driving I thought was very good. Really at one with the car. Really good through all the corners. Yeah. That was... Whew, that was an incredible run. Absolutely incredible. So it was. Wow. Yeah. Just incredible. Oh boy. What a great day of racing that was then. What a great day of racing. Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, I was very disappointed with 24th in qualifying. I qualified 12th last week, so that was, twice as many cars I qualified me this time. I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a rough one. And it's like, okay, yes, I made my way from 12th to 4th last week at Portimao. I was like, okay, I can maybe still make up some positions, but it's like, hey, the chance of making a mistake and bending it into, being collected in someone else's mistake or incident, and then I was like, I really felt like that race very easily could have gone wrong, and yeah, people around us, the drive-throughs at the start, the instance at the start, we just right place, right time, able to make a couple of moves as well. And then, yeah, right lap for the pit stop. And other people overfueling. I think that was a big thing. We jumped like at least 2 cars. We jumped we jumped 2 cars from people that pitted on the right lap but overfueled. And then we jumped even more cars from people that pitted too late and potentially overfueled as well. DTs as well. And then other mistakes, we like just got beat out of the pits by an Aston Martin, and then they died like a few laps later up through a region Radion. That like and we were being chased down at the end, but luckily, the Mustang pitted too late and had overfueled. If the Mustang even just didn't overfill at their pit stop, that was like 15 or so percent less percent virtual energy, they probably would have caught up to us. I would say they would have. And yeah, if they didn't pit too late, yeah, they would have been on up the road. Yeah, so the right strategy, getting lucky, that is really what got us P4. Yeah, the driving wasn't bad for me, but I mean, that lap I lost like 2 seconds in the wet, and that was like in the first third of the lap, even not quite the first sector, because we also lost like half second through the com. That was a miserable lap. That was terrible driving. Qualifying obviously wasn't good driving to only qualify 24th. Like, a few people have said, "Oh yeah, really good driving." It's like, yeah, it was all right, but it was mostly luck and strategy, knowing what to do with strategy. And I should have went one lap shorter. I would have gone in front of that McLaren, so I would have, and I wouldn't have had to have fought past them. Which we did, and we didn't lose too much time there, but that could have been like 1 or 2 seconds. Would have made us a little safer on the Mustang. I don't think it would have got us, obviously it wouldn't have got us much more. There's like 15 seconds up to the car in front, and they were having their own issues. I mean, we might have jumped that Aston that came out of the pits while we were fighting the McLaren. We might have got in front of them, and we would have gone caught up in that battle, and probably maybe lost 1 or 2 seconds anyway. And maybe got caught up in an instant. Sure, they died anyway. They made a mistake. That could have been them making a mistake while fighting us and taking us both out. Very lucky on that aspect. And what else? What else? I mean, yeah, just holding it to the end. Very good. Very good indeed. I was that's probably going to end up as like a theme for this series. Is per qualifying, good race. I mean, that was the thing with the 2.4R series too that we did on Sundays. Well, like a couple of months ago now. At this point, it was always per qualifyings, but we made the places back up in the race, and we had good races, especially in the wet. Of course, I did certainly seem strong in the wet on ACC. But I don't know if that's going to transfer over to LMU. I think it will do a little bit. I think others will struggle with adaptability. I mean, there was even someone complaining in this series on the Discord beforehand asking if they could change from the Ford Mustang to the Ferrari. And the answer was no, you're not allowed to change cars. And they were begging for it, and people were like, "Look, you just gotta learn to deal with it." And if anything, the Ford is probably the better car, and which I think we saw. Mustang won the race. There's Mustang quick behind us that passed the best placed Ferrari that race, which then finished P6 if not P7. Yeah, and it's like there's definitely a skill in being able to adapt to different situations, even if you're not completely comfortable, just making the best of a scenario you're not comfortable with in racing. And that is a good skill to learn. And well, yeah, they weren't going to learn that skill. Switching cars, I don't know if they did turn up in the end. They were saying that they were just going to sign out. I don't know if they did or not, or if they were convinced to see it through. I said, hey, you can still have good racing and good battles and a fun time, even if you're not in the car you'd most prefer to be in. It doesn't mean you're definitely gonna have bad experience. It's like they were just sort of talking themselves into a bad experience. And like, of course, if you go in with that attitude, yeah, very likely you're going to have bad experience, because that's kind of what you're, what's the word? I can't remember the word. It's gone from me. But yeah, that's sort of what you're speaking into existence. That's sort of what I mean. when you're sort of speaking along those lines. Yeah, definitely not a good attitude to have. Not the right attitude, that's for sure. Yeah, and then yeah, expectations. Yeah, expectations. Yeah, yeah. Going in with the expectation that you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to enjoy it. Yeah, yeah. That is what I mean. Um, but yeah, on our end, fun race. Really happy with P4. I'm not someone to really worry about championship standings, but we'll definitely be in a good place after that. Actually, I am tempted now. I am gonna have to uh, check standings. Yeah, P2. Currently P2 in the standings. The Aston Martin that won at Portimao only finished P11 today, so we're 2 places in front of them. The Ford Mustang that won today finished fifth. They were chasing me down and trying to overtake me at the end of Portimao. I held on in front of them, but them winning today puts them 11 points clear at the front. P4 is also tied on 50 points with P3, so they're also 2 points behind us. That's the BMW that finished in P3 tonight. They had a P6 last time, managed to overtake them last time. The Aston Martin that got second last time finished 15th today. And they are 11 points back from us in 5th place. Yeah, they had a bit of a rough time. 15th? I thought they finished lower. Oh, this is in the pro standings. I forgot this championship is split into pro and am. We're in the pro class. And we're currently seeing P2 in that. So yeah, that's going very well. I do not expect to end up in P2 as we've seen. Portimao, all the other Aston Martin drivers were quicker than us, and we had an Aston Martin 1, 2, 3, 4 in both qualifying. I wasn't the fourth driver in qualifying, as back down in P12 is different Aston Martin driver that took P4. They had an issue in the race, and I got myself back up to P4 to keep it a Aston Martin 1, 2, 3, 4, or Aston Martin top 4. No, I did just see the person in the Mustang did just sign out. Wuss. Um, yeah, they did sign out. So yeah, wuss to them. Shame on them. And then the people in 5th and 6th either DNF'd this race or weren't there in the previous race. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that were they're quicker than us, that just haven't had 2 clean races in the first 2 rounds that will outscore us and get back in front of us over the series. So yeah, we'll definitely drop in the standings. Next round will be next week, same time, same place. It will be at Interlagos. Looking forward to that one. One of the BMW driver we were chasing down. I raced them on Interlagos a few months ago. That was streamed, and they were in a Ferrari that time. I was in a Chevy, I want to say, or was I in a McLaren? I might have been in the McLaren for that race. They were in the Ferrari, or maybe we were both in Ferraris. I honestly can't remember, but that was a really good race I had with them. Wonder if we'll be similar on pace this time again as well. Hopefully we'll have another good race with them or someone else. There's plenty of cars in the field that we can have good races with. With how my qualifying is going at the moment, they might be a little too far up the road because yeah. But we'll have to see. Have to see how the Aston Martin fares. Was a bit very good at Portimao, wasn't so great here at Spa. whether it'll be good or not at Interlagos, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see next week. So yeah, that is happening next week tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. UK time. That is about 50 minutes after this stream started, or about an hour and 50 minutes ago. So in about 22 hours, we will be running through the WRC EA Career Series this week again. We have Rally 1 cars at Iberia to sort of mimic the current WRC round happening in real life on the Canary Islands. We don't have the Canary Islands. It's a new rally to the WRC this year. Has ran previously, but only in the European Rally Championship, the ERC, or in smaller, just national championships. So yeah, we'll have that tomorrow. On Monday, we'll be back for Monday? No, not Monday, sorry. Tuesday, we'll be back for the final round of our Formula E series at Camorra. That should be a very fun. It should be somewhat similar in terms of strategy to Helsinki earlier this week, but the track is a bit tighter, a lot more punishing on mistakes. There isn't any runoff and no track limits to be abused. There's gravel all around the track that will really slow you down if you run even just a tire wide off the curbs. So yeah, that's going to be a difficult race. Should be very interesting, especially when it comes to reverse grid. That will be same time as today's stream started, and that is what we have planned until next Friday. Nothing happening on Wednesday. So yeah, that's what we have planned over the next week. Thank you, Geeky. Thank you, Val and Grim, Lilith, for chatting bit, dropping by. Of course, thank you to anyone else that was lurking by or watching the VOD back, of course. Hopefully, I will see you tomorrow. If not tomorrow, hopefully on Tuesday. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Have a good Saturday. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a good rest of your weekend as well. But yeah, until next time again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time indeed. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Wrong button. There we go. Bye.